thanks. Like, hey, Scoob, did you hear Nikki Blake is hosting a Scooby-Doo panel? No. Yeah. Like on today's Scooby-Doo episode, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy meet Nikki Blake. Yeah, and a Scooby Panel. Like, we need to get this puppy started. Okay, Nikki Blake, take it away, Scooby-Doo.
Welcome to the Scooby Panel. I'm your host, Nikki Blake from ScoobyAddicts.com, and today we are talking about locations. Before we begin, I'll have everyone introduce themselves, and Wendy, will start with you.
Hi guys, I'm Wendy BRYDGE. I'm a commissioned artist. I've been collecting Scooby for over 30 years, and tonight I'm also the award-winning real estate agent for the firm of Carswell, Carlotta, and Kasem, representing the interests of villains, ghost ghouls, and baddies all over. You need a haunted location, you need a location to haunt, you want to solve mysteries in a cool place, you have come to the right place. Location, location, location. That's all that matters. But don't worry, I will not be wearing these glasses the whole time, I promise.
I'm sold. I'm sold.
Joel.
Hey there, I'm Joel from the YouTube channel Planet Scooby.
Devin.
Hi, I'm Devin, and I wanted to say thank you guys for such a wonderful award. You guys are the sweetest people in the world. You are so kind, so caring, so many nice words. And I just want to say thank you and show you that I got it framed. It's going to be up on my wall. And yeah, I just wanted to use this award as a reminder to show that I should be on every single panel, because I just got done watching the Reluctant Wolf panel a minute ago, and I heard some smack talk about my boys, the frickin' Hunch Bunch, okay? And I needed to be there to defend it, and I wasn't there to defend it, okay? So I need to be on every single panel. I just ate some food. I'm sorry if there's anything in my teeth.
Yes, we lied.
Wow. Okay. Our intro is taking an interesting turn today, but we are talking about locations where they solve mysteries. And because Devin was nice enough to create the list, I'm going to have him read the list of locations.
Okay. From the top?
From wherever you want to start.
Okay. Okay. So we have museum, castle, haunted house / mansion, carnival, theme park, sporting arena, factory / shop / mill, lake / swamp, beach, boat / marina, ghost town / village, college / school, lodge / hotel, abandoned / desolate / middle of nowhere area. That's kind of a catch-all. That's going to just have a bunch of different stuff because there's kind of one-off locations that go in that category. Science / research facility. That's a mouthful when you say that all together. Urban areas / cities, cemetery, forest / woods, and jail.
That is a lot of locations. I don't know why I was sort of surprised by so many locations, but I mean, 50 years of Scooby, they've done mysteries everywhere.
Yeah, it's true.
I would like to say, Joel, Scoop Stats, I would like to know the location that they've been to the most and the least. I'm very curious about that, actually. Like, what's the most common reoccurring place they go to? I'm curious on that one.
I'll have to look that up, yeah.
I would like to know that too. Scoob Stats is on a hiatus until when?
I watch about 400 more episodes to check some things.
Wow. Okay.
But I've gotten like 220 in a month. So maybe a couple more months.
Okay.
But it's going to come back harder, so Devin can't, answer every question right.
I've got notifications on, and I am ready every single time you post. I'm like, here we go. I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, let's get to it. Let me guess.
All right. General thoughts on locations. Wendy?
Yeah, I was surprised too at like such a wide range of places that they go, but I mean, it makes sense. The thing that kind of I don't know if it surprised me the most, but I enjoy it the most, is that I love how no matter what location the animators are drawing them, solving the mystery in, I feel like they, especially in Where Are You and the Scooby-Doo show, and even the Scrappy episodes too, they really like gave it their all to make that background like sell the place. If it's a haunted house, you know that it's haunted. When it's just a regular house, it looks completely different, which that might sound like something that's like obvious, but when you're translating something real into something animated, I feel like there's a skill involved in that. And so, you know, just by putting all those webby cobwebs on things and, you know, in the corners and some random skull somewhere, like it totally transports the viewer into the location. And I think we've talked about this before. I don't know what panel it was on, but like imagine Scooby, the exact same mysteries, all the same sounds, but like there's no background. It's like a white background or it's like a black background and it's just them going through the motions and doing it. It would not come even close to like making you feel like you were there and that it was interesting. There are definitely some locations that I think lend themselves better to being animated, at least by whoever was animating at Hanna-Barbera at the time. I am a sucker for whenever they go out into the woods and there's a cabin or something like that. The way that they do the trees is beautiful. If there's like a little lake in the back. And then also, of course, any kind of like amusement park type thing with rides, because you get all these cool lights and stuff. And again, I'm so impressed with, especially in Scooby, like how much effort was put into making those locations. Like there they are, bigger than life. They're almost better than what you would get if you were actually in one of those places. And the way that I feel like the way that they interact in all of those different locations is not necessarily different. I feel like they kind of react the same no matter where they are. So it really is, I feel like, more for the viewer, because I react different depending on what location they're in. They may be acting the same, but it's completely different for me. And definitely great for young kids. Well, great for everyone, but especially for young kids when you're trying to foster like an imagination in them. When I was little, I'm sure that the reason that I love Scrappy so much is primarily those were the episodes that were getting played where I was able to watch them as, you know, like between the ages of like, let's say 6 and 10. And just the places that they went, especially those like 7-minute shorts, which, yeah, people don't care for them because most of the time there's not really a mystery per se. They're just visiting some weird locale. But those locations are like, holy mackerel, especially as a little kid, just wanting to be there and drawing those crazy trees or, you know, whatever's going on in the background, drawing that myself after watching it. Like there was never a time where I couldn't imagine my own little story just looking based on the location that they were in. It honestly didn't even matter to me what the characters were doing. It's like where they were was so just like immersive. And that I think is actually underappreciated in animation in general, but especially in Hanna-Barbera stuff like Scooby, where you really need that locale in the background and you need it to be done right in order for your viewer to be like, wow, it's like I'm here. You know, are we hearing the space kook coming down the airfield? It's a lot of people have that like visual sense, and the location is kind of like probably 80% of the animation. I mean, it's not moving, I understand that, but the characters are only taking up like maybe 20% of what's going on the screen at any given time. The location is like practically the whole cartoon. So super important, very diverse. Never, I mean, even when if the story kind of lacked a bit of creativity, I personally don't feel that way, but I know a lot of people do. You cannot criticize the locations of all of these mysteries. And Scooby and the gang prove that it really doesn't matter where you are. They can sell the idea that, oh yeah, it's haunted. haunted toy factory, haunted candy factory. You know, like, let's not go with like a haunted toilet or bathroom or something. I don't think we need to see that, but they could probably do it, is the point, and make it interesting. So
It makes me think of the Magic School Bus and how it would like go into these different places like that. I just see Scooby mixed with the Magic School Bus, and that would be quite interesting.
it'd be interesting, yeah.
Yeah. Joel, your general thoughts on the locations?
I might be in the minority, but I didn't find it surprising about the broad depth of the locations because I already knew, I guess, going in there was a ton, and I was like, this is gonna be a fun but complicated panel to do because there is a lot. 689 episode shorts, movies, all smushed together. There's going to be a lot of locations. And I was thinking about there's actually quite a lack of houses. Like you kind of like think of Scooby-Doo, you think haunted house right away, but there's a lot, but there's not they went everywhere. And like there's just a ton of things going on. Museums, colleges, everything. Just there's a question coming up later, like where would you like a location to be? And like everything I thought of, they already kind of did. And I was kind of disappointed. But I think Scooby's only visited Canada 5 times. Not that I'm spoiling later on, but there could be more Canadian locations there, future writers of Scooby-Doo. Consider us. Devin's, we learned today, he's more Canadian than I am.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's up further north than I am.
It's true. It's true.
So more Canada, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's all I got for locations for that question.
Devin, your general thoughts on the locations?
I will say that I didn't do any research at all when I wrote this list of locations. This was all just like off the dome. I was just like running through my Rolodex in my brain of like, where have they been and what I remembered. So like, there's probably way more. And that's why there's the category of miscellaneous stuff kind of. And if I missed your favorite location, then blame Joel because he knew going in that there was so many of them. So it's not my fault. And I'm more Canadian than him. And but look, as far as the locations actually go, I agree completely with Wendy. They are the most important thing, I think, when it comes to like at least a cartoon. I would argue like any movie or show actually, because like characters obviously important. But I'm like a big movie guy, so like I watch a lot of movies, a lot of horror movies, and like the atmosphere and the location and the setting can do a lot of heavy carrying if the story and the characters are lacking. Like there could be absolutely nothing there, no meat on the bone as far as story goes for me. And as long as like the setting and the vibes are there, it could be a great movie for me. So the same goes with Scooby-Doo. It's like the world is built around these locations. Like Wendy said, like if it's a white background, it loses all of the scariness. You know, there's no more. Like it's the entire ambiance, you know. And I feel like I was thinking about this a little bit earlier too. Like I feel like it started off so spooky. Like I feel like I guess you could argue Mystery Incorporated, but I would disagree a little bit that Where Are You started like pretty spooky as far as the atmosphere goes. Like it's really good. I don't think we're ever going to get back to that, honestly, or like better than that. And I feel like it just slowly like declined over time, like as far as atmosphere goes. Like it's gotten just less spooky and more like about the jokes. And it's like, sure, they're in a spooky setting and it's scary, but the atmosphere isn't really that spooky anymore when I feel like it should be. I feel like that's the essence of Scooby is like, yeah, they're having fun and they're solving mysteries and there's the monsters, which I would say are second to location, the monster design. But like that location, it's like, it's gotta be scary because no matter what's going on, you're there with them. You're a little spooked. The monster, even if it's goofy, can be scary if the location is scary and if it calls for it. You know what I mean? So that's what I got.
Yeah, I agree that the location definitely does set the tone for what the episode is going to be, whether it's scary or fun or spooky or any of that. And it's kind of amazing how they can do such detail in the background art for all of these different locations, and it looks really, really good. Yeah. How does the weather affect the location they're in? Joel?
Yeah, the weather is important. I don't think they used it too much in the first season, did they? They mostly mist, fog, not many heavy rainstorms, but those heavy rainstorm episodes like Spirits of 76 and Bermuda Creepy Tangle and Bermuda Triangle, like that storm, were very effective for me. Like I find those two very creepy. And I guess the Neapolitan Phantom, weren't they driving in the when Scott
I think so.
Shaggy crashes the van, weren't they driving in a rainstorm, I think? So yeah, weather's great, important. Weather can indicate, well, in Gothic literature it used to be weather would be foreshadowing, like Frankenstein, the lightning, building atmosphere, what people are feeling. But in Scooby, I think it's more atmosphere and just kind of setting the mood in general. I don't think it's foreshadowing. I don't think it's anyone's inner turmoil. Not that the Scooby-Doo needs that. We don't want to go too deep with Scooby. We want to have some fun. But yeah, like Devin said, that first season is very creepy. Because, and I don't think it is weather related. I could be wrong. You could prove me wrong. You can, and I'd be, yeah, I'm such an idiot for not thinking of it. But I think it was more with the fog, which I guess is weather, but it's not heavy rain, like classic kind of like horror movie trope where you get the lightning. They do have lightning in some episodes, but you don't really seem to get a lot of that until maybe later. Maybe they use that. I don't know. I'm just gonna shut up now.
Devin, your thoughts on how the weather affects the location?
I totally agree. I mean, like, if you're gonna pick like what's scarier, like the daytime with like it's bright and sunny out and it's like a nice gorgeous day, or it's like a nighttime and it's scary and like there's this big storm rolling in, like the storm is gonna be scarier because it means it adds like a, oh, the gang, like the gang, or the characters, whatever, the gang is trapped. Like, ooh, like if they try to get away, because something's coming, there's gonna be a monster. When they're trying to get away, are they gonna have trouble because it's raining out or it's storming? Is there gonna be a tree in the way? Is the road gonna be muddy? Like, you know what I mean? It creates all these things in your mind where it's like, it creates like tasks that you would have to work around to get away from the situation when there's not weather. And that's why I think that like it goes like regular like day and then rainy storm, but then I think that a snowstorm is like the scariest because when you're there, Wendy, you can attest this. We were just talking about all the snow.
Yep.
When you're stuck in the snow like that, it's way harder to get out of that situation. So like that really makes you feel trapped. And I feel like a good snowstorm, a good like spooky wintry vibe, I think that really creates a good atmosphere for like it's cold and you're scared and you're like it's just, I think it's perfect. It's a perfect combo for me.
Wendy, your thoughts on how the weather affects the location?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And I'm certainly, as much as I hate winter and snow because of where I live and how much of it I see all the time, I'm definitely a sucker for like a winter episode of Scooby. Whether there's a snowstorm or whether it's just like that change. Because, I mean, obviously we get their cool winter outfits, but also it's like a whole new level of like visual delight of the background because now you've got all this snow, the trees are covered in snow, the lodge is covered in snow. And then the times where you're fortunate enough that you actually get like the animated snow as well, which is just, it's just a cool, like additional thing on top of everything else. And sort of like Devin said, it adds another layer of mystery to the mystery because you're like, okay, is the weather going to affect what they're doing? Is the power going to go out? Are they going to have an accident in the rainstorm? There's like all of these possibilities that the weather sort of like presents for them, like an added level of danger. I know there's like a particular screenshot. I think it's from Creepy Tangle in the Bermuda Triangle, but they're on like their little sailing boat and the wind is like their hair is actually, like out. And they're all in close listening to the radio and you can see the storm like in and around them. And like the particular shot, they're very like close up though. There's not like a lot of background. There's so much going on in just that like one little screenshot. And that whole scene only lasts maybe like, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds before they drift into the eye the storm, of the hurricane, and everything goes calm again. In that 10 seconds, though, especially if you're like a little kid watching that, I mean, your mind is just going, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Because there's all those added layers of like, this is scary as heck. But it's a different kind of scary, obviously, than like a villain or something. For sure, if something is in the dark, which maybe not quite weather, but I would argue it could go in this category. Don't know that there's a lot of people that at some point in their life have not had like some level of fear of the dark. You know, some people definitely have it more extreme than others, but because again, you have that unknown factor. So it sort of seems perfect for anything that is mystery related or monster related. And so I do love like a castle at night, and then you add the monsters, and it's just like this whole, again, what a good cartoon should do is like get your imagination firing. And Scooby is like the king for that, for all of these reasons. So I'm glad that they played around with things like the weather, and we get to experience all of these different locations, but in different ways too, because each time it adds another layer of interest to it for the viewer.
I always like when it's raining and then it thunders and lightnings, and then when the lightning strikes, you see the villain in the window for just like a split second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I wanted to add on to the snow thing really quick. I just thought of too. It's kind of an interesting thing too, because it makes the villain have to kind of blend into the snow. Like when it's a snowy episode, it's always like a wintry white colored villain. So like that's kind of scarier too, because they could be in the woods or haunted house or whatever, and the villain could be in bright pink, you know, whatever. But when they're in the snow, they blend in more, which I think can create a scary element as well, because they're so like camouflaged into the setting and the background as well, you know?
Yeah, very true.
Joel, what are your thoughts on day versus night? Just because they've already answered that.
Yeah, well, night, definitely. There are some, I think later Scooby went more daytime, like Pup Named Scooby-Doo and whatnot. Even 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo seemed more day than, but those 13 Ghosts should have been spooky, but it wasn't overly spooky. I think I have two favorite nighttime scenes. One is like the first episode, One Night for a Night, where Shaggy and Scooby are walking home from that movie. And it just reminds me of being a kid when you leave like your friend's house and the sun's already kind of set, but there's still enough light. And you're like walking by yourself and you're just trying to get home, and you're just like all these thoughts are going through your head because it's getting darker and darker, and the trees are blowing in the wind. Oscillating, is that the word? Probably. Undulating? I forget the word. Moving around, looking like, you know, casting shadows, just that kind of dusk, you know, you get those long shadows at dusk. And then another scene is season 2 with the werewolf, where they're camping and they're looking out in the woods, and all I can see are these like red eyes like looking back at them. Perfect examples for me for like nighttime scare scenes. Nighttime makes a lot of sense for Scooby-Doo because, you know, in the day we assume they're in high school and they're at school in the day. But yeah, night, I prefer night.
Yeah. The whole, like, my favorite type of scene with the lightning only works at night. So, yeah. Scary versus not scary or funny locations, Devin?
Oh man. Okay. See, this was like, okay. Well, as far as there's funny and then there's not scary versus scary, I would say the like not scary is like a sporting arena. To me, that's like, it's like it doesn't like haunted house, old castle, like stuff that's like supposed to be scary. It's like you expect it to be scary. Sporting arena, it's like so not, which is weird because like a carnival or a theme park is spooky, which, you know, is like a big area that's like populated by people. But then like a sporting arena, also populated by a bunch of people, is not scary. And I feel like it's mainly because those are always in the day. You know, you can go to a theme park at night because of all the lights and they really light it up and it's really like this big thing. But like a sporting arena, it's usually during the day and it's kind of just like I think that it doesn't lend itself visually enough to a spooky ghost, really, or the visuals are just not scary, you know?
Yeah.
So I would say that. As far as not scary, I would say that. Funny locations, I was like having trouble thinking of this. I was like, here, let's see, I wrote it down. I only had a couple. Okay, I think they did like a Be Cool episode where they were on an airplane.
Yeah.
That's like, I guess that's funny. I don't know. It's just kind of, it's like very limited space. I think there was also a Be Cool one where they were in outer space, like on a spaceship or something, if I remember. It's been a while, which I guess that's kind of interesting. Let's see. What's New? They were at the Scooby Snacks Factory. I think there was a Be Cool episode like that also. And Reluctant Werewolf. I was watching you guys talk about that today, and I was like, a weird monster racetrack is kind of peculiar.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it. Yeah, I couldn't think of a lot of like funny locations really. They all seemed like okay, like they can make it work, but nothing that stuck out as like this is like peculiar, you know? Nothing too crazy.
I would add like a concert venue because I feel like it's just not really scary to do
Yeah.
something where someone is doing a concert. I don't know why, but it feels off.
Too many people.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah. Wendy, scary versus not scary or funny locations?
Yeah, just to pick up off of what you guys were just saying, I think that is the key. Because if you imagine any of those venues abandoned, so like a theater where someone, like a rock concert, whatever, picture it with no people, no lights, abandoned, the seats are torn. All of a sudden, that not scary venue just got scary.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I could think of any location where I would just be like, okay, I could label that as a funny location and that is like a not funny location. This is a scary location and that is not. I mean, okay, there are certain locations where, yes, it's going to be scary no matter what. You take them to the cemetery, it's a scary location. I don't care if it's like 2 a.m, 6 a.m, 10 a.m. It's a cemetery. It does kind of have that creep factor to it. A mausoleum, any of those places. Certain parts of a museum, I think even during the daytime would be scary, like the Egyptian section where there's like mummies and sarcophagus and all kinds of like dead stuff. Whereas other areas of the museum, if it's dark out, of course, and you know the museum is locked and you're stuck inside or whatever, yeah, of course, everything got kind of spooky. But I definitely, again, think it is more like how it is being treated. And as soon as you make any location abandoned and you take all of the people out of it, then I think that sometimes the bigger the location, the more spooky it could be. Because I just keep envisioning like an old time theater, with like sort of amphitheater seating, like around like this. It's a huge room, but in the right setting, that the bigger the room is like that, I mean, the more places for the bad guy to hide, the more places for the ghosts to be. And again, just thinking about that kind of thing can get your imagination going. So if it's scary or it's not, I think it all depends on what you are doing with the actual location. And as soon as you add people to it, it just instinctively becomes less scary because that's nature, that's animal nature, that's human nature, pack mentality. Everyone, there's danger, they all go together. People do it, animals do it, everybody does it. It's just natural. So take away the people, you take away even just a perception of safety, because the fact of the matter is you're probably not that much safer with a bunch of people around, because for the most part, they don't care about you and nobody's going to protect you. So you're really not safer with people, but there is a perception of that. So you could take the scariest, take the creepiest cemetery at night, broken headstones, lightning, thunder, put 1,000 people in the cemetery, it is immediately going to become less of a scary location, even though for all intents and purposes, You could have zombies literally crawling up out of the ground. And if there's enough people in the area, though, it's not going to seem as scary as if you were there by yourself and there's freaking dead people coming out of the ground. So location, it all depends on what you're doing with it.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I actually did write down a couple of like qualifying questions I was going to ask you guys on what makes it scary or not. And one of them was people being there or not. And I do agree that when there's no people there, it's definitely scarier. You know what I mean? Like if you're in your basic example, if you're in your house at night and you're with like a couple of people and you turn off a light, you're not running up the stairs and jumping in your bed or whatever, you know, but it's like when you're younger, at least, maybe people do it still. You turn off that light and you're sprinting for the bedroom. You know what I mean? Like when you're alone, it's super scary no matter where you're at. Like it's something about it. It just is. So when it's less people, it's 100% scarier. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you notice that in Scooby-Doo, if there are other people, there's not a lot of other people.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Which I think on that topic, sorry, Joel, you got to talk about this still. Sorry, I'm interrupting your moment.
Oh, good.
On the I feel like Where Are You is perfect for that because they add more people later as the show, you know, like gets digitally drawn. And I feel like the like quote unquote cheapness of Hanna-Barbera, like they kind of probably didn't want to really draw background characters also if they didn't have to. Right. So like that lends itself to the fact that there was not that many people in Where Are You really. And I think that kind of worked in their favor, honestly, because like they could have added a lot more side characters and like things if they wanted. But I think the scarceness really adds to like, this is a weird world where like no one exists except for the gang and like one other person that's going to like talk to them for a second, you know? So.
Yeah. Joel, scary versus not scary or funny locations?
Yeah, I don't have much to add. Interesting conversation though. Funny, I could only think of one, and that was like the 13 Ghosts when they're the funny pages. It's kind of funny, clever. Not a very scary episode. I guess too with funny, they found funny in locations like the carnival. They could go after the cotton candy or whatever, and Scooby classic scene where he licks the cotton candy off his face. I think they kind of balance both, maybe in a way, like. Maybe not in Where Are You so much, even though I just cited a Where Are You episode, but they kind of found funny moments in spooky situations a lot of times, but I lean more towards the spooky, so I remember more of the spooky stuff than the funny.
Yeah, I think the funny was just kind of added in with like different things that the characters did or said. I can't really think of other than, like Joel said, the 13 Ghosts episode, I can't really think of a funny location.
I was going to say, not necessarily funny, but like Cyber Chase, they go in a video game. I guess that's along those lines, you know? It's like, okay. Yeah. I feel like it's hard. If it was a real TV show, like live action, it'd be a different story. But when it's a cartoon, you can kind of do anything, and it doesn't seem like out of left field because it's a cartoon, you know? So like, anywhere they go, I'm kind of already on board with it.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Local locations versus foreign locations. Wendy?
Okay, so for me, this goes way beyond Scooby-Doo. So I grew up with a lot of shows from the 60s and the 70s. I did not watch a lot of like modern television when I was a kid. And something that I sort of noticed is that shows of a certain era, namely the late 60s into the 70s, had this sort of like, at least I perceived it as a trend, where in their first few seasons or their first season, if they didn't have too many after that, it was very local. And then all of a sudden, it's like the writers got bored and they're like, let's go jet setting across the world. Case in point, Nancy Drew Hardy Boys Mysteries. Pamela Sue Martin, Sean Cassidy, Parker Stevenson. Season 1, perfection. It is all very localized mystery solving. Then in the next 2 seasons, we start seeing them getting on a plane. They go to Africa. They go to all of these different places, which I'm not saying that can't be fun. I definitely 100% prefer them staying local. And I don't know why exactly, but I feel like any time in Scooby where you just know that they're like, it's never expressly, well, not never, it's rarely expressly said, oh, we're far from home, we're close to home. Obviously, the one where they go to the movies, they must be reasonably close to the neighborhood that they live in. Okay, absolutely. But for the most part, we are just assuming that they are visiting a museum in their town, that they are, you know, going to a beach that is local, that they are going to a theater that is local because they were just driving around and there it is. There is just something about that. Maybe it's the fact of, like, in real life, like your brain trying to process it as a real thing on some level, that like, wow, even close to home, there can be scary, dangerous things or people or whatever. Whereas when you take that locale and you move it someplace that is completely apart from you, it's over there. It's still scary, but like it's over there. It's not here where I am. And I think maybe that's sort of what for me gives that like local feeling. It's way more spooky to me. I think that is one of the reasons that especially season 1 of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Is the scariest, is that they're at home. All of these things, we're assuming at least, are happening within a reasonable radius of where these people live. And that it's just creepy. It's creepy to think that. And it also sort of helps. I mean, I've never watched Scooby and really, really thought of them as kids. You know, we know that they were meant to be teenagers, you know, let's say between 16 and 18 years old. I always thought of them more as like young adults. So I didn't really think about like, oh, they probably went to school yesterday and they must be solving mysteries in the summer or on the weekend. Like, it never really dawned on me to put them into that kind of like category, like age category, even though obviously that is what is intended. But I think that them being younger is a scarier experience because you relate to it more when you're closer to that age, or when you get old and you still think of yourself as being that age, even though you feel like 50 years older. That's another story. But it's just, I don't know how else to say it, but they're just so much more grown up when you think of them flying off to Italy or they're flying off to Scotland. And like, yeah, they're still going to see their friends and everything, but that's a much bigger deal in the real world when you get to an age where like, yeah, I can get on a plane and go wherever I want. It's just a bigger deal. And I feel like it makes it's interesting. And I guess people could argue that it was necessary. I don't know that it was necessary. I feel like I've seen enough procedural shows that I have loved for seasons and seasons and seasons where stuff is just happening. Like right here, here's the little bubble and it's happening there. I've been watching a series. It just finished its 2nd season, Murder in a Small Town. There's a murder every episode, guys, and it's a small town. It is like a small town, like my small town. And at some point I was sitting there watching and I'm like, why do I love this show so much? Like, I really, really am enjoying it. And then it hit me. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, how many people have died in this town in like a 6-month period? Like, something's wrong. Something's really, really wrong. And then immediately I was like, no, I don't need that logic. I don't need that. This is entertainment. So again, when it's like right there with you, it just makes for like a scarier experience. I think it keeps them young because they're still going to go home at night. They're not like out doing fancy stuff. The fancy stuff is fun too, because you get to see obviously new locations that they have painted and drawn beautifully. But I don't really need them. Like a road trip within the United States or Canada, I think is enough of a foreign location for me. They go to Salem. I love it. I love them going to Scotland, but I would prefer them to just go to Salem or literally to the museum down on the corner. I personally think that that is just more, maybe it's more realistic as a viewer. Maybe that's what sells it for me. I don't know. But every single show where I feel like they did that, where as the show went on, they branched out away from like the local locations that the characters were in and pushed them like further out. Every single show that I've ever seen that did that, I was like, I wish you would go back to where you started. Go home, solve the mystery at home. It's so much better like that. And I feel that way about Scooby too.
Joel, local versus foreign.
Yeah, I'm like 90% with Wendy. Although I do like the castle episodes. The ones in America just don't really fly for me. They just lack that authenticity that I want. So, I want them to be in England when they go to a castle, not have the castle brought back and reconstructed brick by brick. I want them there. And then there's like a marvelous episode called I think Hound of the Scoobyvilles or something. That's got to be, in Scotland. I think it was Scotland or wherever Sherlock Holmes is. You need that. So, but I get what Wendy's saying, like, and I see her point with the Nancy Drew, and then like there's a big thing in the 80s too, like sitcoms would do it. Like the Fox Life girls would go to Australia or France, and Family Ties, like, do we need them visiting France? I think they went to France and there was like mystery, maybe there's Growing Pains, all these episodes, we don't need that. Even the vacation movies, the best ones are in America. Like European Vacation, I love it, but give me the original Vacation, Christmas Vacation. Only Devin probably understands that reference. But yeah, there's just a certain authenticity that you get when they're on location. Because I love that Italian episode, cutting the pizza with the ceiling fan, and they're going to all these different sites. But you also get that feeling too when they went to, I think there's enough places in America, like they did that prison on the island. I forget what it's called, but yeah, that one, yeah. And they did no, New England with the Headless Horseman. I think there's a lot in Salem, as Wendy mentioned. There's a lot in America you could do, like, but then you wouldn't get the Jaguaro episode either. Like, it's not my favorite episode, but I still love that episode. Where they're in the Brazilian jungle, I think it is, or Colombia or somewhere. No, it's Rio de Janeiro. They're on their way there. So yeah, 80%. Give me 90% in America, 10% elsewhere. Go to Australia once in a while, and they only did once in a while. Four times they went to Australia, I think. But we could use a little bit more. But yeah, I think that's why a lot of people maybe love Mystery Incorporated, because it's all in Coolsville, right? Like they don't really go anywhere else. They stick to that one area.
I do agree with you that the castles are better not in the US.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said about them visiting places in the US that I can then visit because I'm more likely to see something that's in the United States than out of it. So, yeah. Devin, local versus foreign?
Yeah. Local all the way for me. I mean, I agree mainly with what Wendy said, but also I agree with what Joel said. Is like, sure, like, every now and then, like overseas travels and things like that. But for me, like pretty much exactly what Wendy said, it's like it's scarier when it's like local to you, like, oh, this could happen down the street, the town over, like it's there. That could happen to me. That's scarier than like I'm not going to be at like a pyramid or like somewhere overseas. Like I'm not doing that like tomorrow, but like I could go drive by a scary house in the woods. That could happen like tonight. You know what I mean? That's very easy to happen. And for me, that's like, it kind of goes along with the monsters as well. Like, that's why I think like dudes in masks are always scarier than ghosts. Like, I'm a believer in ghosts. I've had paranormal experiences. I totally believe in it. But I think a guy could just put a mask on and come to my house, or I could go somewhere and there's a guy in a mask that could attack me for whatever reason. Very plausible, very likely, like, so that I think that goes along with the local thing, and why that's scary is that it's just very plausible and it feels like it's right there. And when you brought up something else that I had to write down a couple of thoughts so I didn't forget them while we were talking. I've never really thought about it, but like just speaking strictly on Where Are You? I've always pictured it as like they're driving around the US or what have you, you know. And then I was like, which they still could be driving around the US, obviously, but I was like, they go to the malt shop, you know what I mean, often, which implies that a lot of these mysteries are indeed in one town if they're going to local places. And that like begs the question, like, why are there so many masked people in this one town doing this? You know, like, why is this happening there? But yeah, I think the malt shop does kind of tie a lot of episodes together where so that they're all local, but then they do like go around, you know, stuff like that. And you guys were talking about you know, the Nancy Drew and whatever, you know, and all the shows. And I think that's the jump the shark moment. You know what I mean? Like they've exhausted all the storylines like at their local places and with all their local characters, and they're like, all right, like we gotta. I'm not saying this is true for Scooby-Doo because there's obviously good episodes or whatever, but in general, that you kind of jump the shark. You're like, we ran out of all the options here. Like, let's go somewhere else. You know, it's like spoilers for Supernatural for some parts of it. They're like fighting like God and like the devil and stuff. And I'm like, what are we? It's you know, I enjoy it. It's funny, but it's like, okay, like there's a realistic standpoint, and then it like goes too far. And I think local is the realistic standpoint, local to wherever you are. You know, if you are from overseas and you didn't grow up like in America or whatever, then when they went to those you know, foreign locations, I'm sure that felt like, oh, this is scary to me because it's here now, you know. And I also think that that's why Where Are You is special, because it was before they, like you said, they were kind of like kids still and they were young. And I feel like once you spread out to the other series, they start to like obviously have some money if they're getting all these plane tickets and boat rides. They have all these like celebrity friends. Like I like those shows, obviously, you know, with the celebrities and stuff, but like they have all these celebrity friends and it makes them too like it gives them too high of a status. And I think I like the gang when they're just like a group of friends hanging out. You know what I mean? And they stumble upon a scary thing. That is much more relatable and easy to have happen to you than like you're going to see your famous skateboarder friend or whatever, and then there's a monster there. You know what I mean? Like it's so not logical compared to something happening down the street. And I think that's scarier.
You make good points, all of you. Yeah. Yeah. What is a location you would like to see them solve a mystery in? I'm actually going to go first on this one. So they've done museums, of course, but what about a Scooby museum where you see like, you know, the lunch boxes and DVD collection, the stapler, cookie jars. And you know how typically they're destroying the museums that they're going into. Well, what if like every time something falls, they literally catch it before it breaks? Like that's part of the whole thing, is that they also are trying not to destroy the Scooby Museum. Yeah.
I'd watch it.
Yeah.
I almost said like a Scooby-Doo convention or something like along those lines. I just had a thought and now it's gone. Another ridiculous place, another funny one, and now it's gone. And it's gone. I'll let you know if I remember.
So what did you choose as a location, Devin?
Okay. So here's what these are the first things that came to my head. I was just writing them down as I thought. I think I mentioned this a couple years ago, actually, because me and Trevor were talking one time, and he's brought up a church. A spooky old church is. I understand that they probably don't want to go, you know, religious route with the show, understandable. But I do think that'd be an interesting location. Like a spooky church would be kind of like a cool vibe, you know, with all the stained glass and stuff, and like you said, like Wendy said, like an amphitheater is empty, like all the pews are empty and stuff. I think that could be kind of like a spooky setting. There's like a graveyard next to the church, probably, you know, things like that. I think that could be spooky. Second one, totally off topic. I don't know why I said this. I was like, where have they not been? Fire station? For some reason. I don't know what you could do there exactly. The ghost is a firefighter that died or something. I don't know. Fire station. And then that led me to a fire watch tower in the middle of the woods. So like one of those big towers in the woods. I feel like that would be spooky with the woods and the stuff, you know. I feel like that would kind of work. And then water park lifeguard or something. I don't know. Is the guy that does it?
There's
the
a
ghost?
There's a book where they were in a water park.
There is, yes.
Yeah.
Are we counting books? Because then there's so many other things. Like, I don't know. Let's see. If you wanted a Christmas episode, they go to Santa's workshop and it's an evil reindeer guy or something, or maybe an elf of some kind. Little Christmas episode. And then I started thinking about things that I like, and I was like, antique store at night, and there's like a bunch of creepy little objects around. I like that. Let's see. An estate sale. They go to an estate sale, and then the ghost is the person that supposedly died, and they're selling all their stuff, and they're like, they don't want people to buy their stuff, is why he's there. But he didn't actually die. He faked his death, and then his family, I'm making this up as I go, and then his family is selling all his stuff off, and he's like, uh-oh, now I have to actually be my ghost and scare people off from not wanting to buy all my old junk. Scooby writers, you can have that for free. A VHS old video rental store. You could do some movie related stuff in there, maybe. A Spirit Halloween, or a store of that similarity where it's like a Halloween store. There's plenty of like animatronics and things in there that could be scary.
I just feel like some of these are a stretch. I mean,
don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. These are the first things that came to my mind. I thought about for 5 minutes. All right. They kind of have had this before, but I'd like a whole episode that centers around like a lover's lane type of place, where it's like the car on the little cliffside. You know what I mean? I love that kind of thing. Like a hook hand guy could be the killer. I mean, or the ghost, not a killer. Sorry, Scooby-Doo. And then let's see what else. An apartment building. Have they done that? Just an apartment building. Have they done that one? That's the last thing I got.
Well, they have been to Daphne's Aunt Olivia's in New York. She lives in an apartment building in New York.
You're right. So those are the first things I had off the top of my head. I don't know if any of them were good, but places they haven't been is what I was trying to think of, basically.
I think the fire watchtower could be cool. And the whole thing could be that there was a missing firefighter, and maybe like that's the ghost, but then they find out that it really is him, and he's just been living on this watchtower.
It could be kind of like the 10,000 volt ghost episode kind of thing, but not in the winter, you know, where it's like a guy went to do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Yeah. Joel, what is locations that you would like to see them solve a mystery in?
Devin did a much more better job than I did.
Sorry.
Mine's pretty boring. Like, I was just thinking of locations because that you can actually visit in real life. So I think that'd be cool to do. But I couldn't really think of anything great. So like my first lame answer would be like, I just want to see them at the Psycho House. I don't know what the story would be. I just want to see them. Yeah, I know they're owned by a different company. I think Universal owns it. But I just want to see Scooby in the Psycho House, that little mashup. And then I thought sewers, but they did do that with the Phantom of they're in France. They're under Paris. There's a Phantom.
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought all these tunnels under New York, and apparently there's like a ballroom under New York in the tunnels that was meant for the elite way back when, and it's got like crystal chandeliers and these staircases, and it's a couple stories tall, this ballroom.
Cool.
And it's all closed off, but it's all maintained too. Like it's not totally decrepit. So I'm like, that'd be a cool location. That's real, but you can't visit it. It's been blocked off for reasons. I think there's people squatting in it too. So it's probably a little bit decrepit. And then, yeah, I just thought of all these locations I could go to, and I like Devin's Firewatch and his other ones. I even like the Spirit of Halloween one, Devin. I think
Thank you.
That'd be a fun episode.
Thank you. I like the Psycho House because they do have the Psycho House at Universal Studios. So like they could be at Universal Studios doing like a tour type situation.
Yeah.
In the house. And then they're at the house still.
But I guess they couldn't talk about Norman Bates because he was a killer.
Yeah.
Wendy, a location that you would like to see them solve a mystery in?
Well, I was thinking about this going way back to earlier in the panel, where we were talking about like places that are not that scary, and Devin brought up like any kind of like sporting arena or sports event. And I agree with that 100%. But then I also was thinking school gymnasium. And the few times, like I remember the first time that I went back to my public school after I graduated, and it had only been a few months, like it hadn't even been like years or anything like that. It was literally just a couple of months. And I went in to pick up some stuff, and there was not a lot of people around. Like it was, you know, the end of the day, whatever, everyone for all the students were gone. So a lot of the lights were out. It was so creepy. This place where I literally grew up. You know, I spent like 10 years of my life there, like 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And all of a sudden, it was like a totally different experience, and it was a totally different place, and it wasn't home anymore. And so I would kind of like to see them going to their high school or to a high school, but like it's either during the summer or it's during a break where there's no one there. So I don't necessarily think it should be abandoned. It should be like an active school, but it's closed. There's no one there, because I can just picture all of these rooms in the school with the lights out, and just like how just like if people don't believe in ghosts, I don't know how you couldn't at least like wonder standing in a place like that and being like, how much has this place seen? How many people have like walked through that door? How many people, how many kids have run around this gymnasium? How many people have, you know, lived their life here? How many of those people have already passed away? You know, even some of my own friends, people that I grew up with, have already died. And like, if I went back to my public school now, I would think of them being there. And now they are essentially ghosts in that place. And just that on its own, I don't even like, obviously, I don't know that this would work for like a Scooby episode, but even just like something that was more like just a reflection, like a reflective kind of story where there's not necessarily like a bad guy or a villain, but just something spooky like that, where they would just be there and like experiencing what that is like and thinking about ghosts, you know, in even not in necessarily a literal term. Like I literally believe in ghosts too, but also I think there can be like ghosts that are more like an impression left by people who have just been here, an energy, like a spirit, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I think I kind of think it would suit Scooby though. I think that they could pull that off. Also, because this is something that I have thought of, it used to be like kind of a big deal, but not too far from where I live on the highway, there used to be a bookstore. It's called the Highway Bookstore. They actually were a publishing house for a while, many, many decades back. And it was sort of like a little jewel of the North. And when I was a kid and we went south, like we had to stop at the bookstore on the way home. We just had to, always, always, always. And it unfortunately has been abandoned now for probably 15 years or so. And I actually did see a video on YouTube last year or the year before, and someone went in there and like I cried because all of the, like, they just walked away. The old man died. The old lady, she tried to sell it. She ran it for a while and she tried to sell it and she just wanted way too much money for it. And eventually they just like locked the door and they walked away. And all of the books are in there, and there are some parts of the ceiling have caved in and there's mold and everything. But like, I know that place like the back of my hand. And as he was going through the rooms, like I was going with him. Like I remember walking through those places, and it wasn't some kind of fancy building either. Like very, I don't know how else to say this, but very like home built. So, you know what I mean? Very dated. And I've told Crystal before, I'm like, we should like break in there. Like, I'm so sorry. I would never do this, but I'm like, we should just break in there sometime, you know, like wait till winter and be like, oh my God, the car was breaking down. So we just pulled in here and opened it. I don't know. I want to go in there. That's the point. I want to go in there. I would love a Scooby story where they're out in the middle of a snowstorm. They're driving. Maybe the mystery machine is running out of gas, as you do on Scooby. And they pull into this random, because I mean, guys, it's literally just, and when I say highway, okay, Nikki can attest to this because Nikki has been up here. When I say highway, it is like 200 miles of nothing. Of nothing. It is trees and a random moose that you hope you don't see in the middle of the night because you'll probably die if you hit it.
There were no moose. I didn't see one. I was
But
very
like I say, that's
disappointed.
They're there.
Yeah,
They're
no,
there.
no, because when you see them, you're like on top of them and you're having a problem. But yeah, so it's just there. It's so random. It's just there. So I could see them out driving around. They get lost. Bam. There's a building. Let's pull in. And they pull in and the mystery machine's out of gas. And they're like, well, we got to get warm. And maybe there's a phone. So they, pry the door open and they go in and they just, I don't know, explore this like old bookstore. And again, I guess in the same spirit as like in the school, I don't know that I would necessarily need like a mystery with a bad guy, but just more of them feeling the ghosts of the place. I don't know. Or ghosts coming out of the books. I don't know. Something like that. I would be interested in that kind of thing. And the only other one, and this is kind of morbid, given what a snob I am for Scooby, I don't even know who am I right now? I don't know, making these like non-Scooby suggestions for Scooby, but like an old abandoned animation studio. Like they go back to I don't think it's even there anymore, but like if they could go back to like the Hanna-Barbera building where everything started, and it's maybe it doesn't even start out looking abandoned, but they go in and they're looking around, and at some point they just discover like cells of themselves. And then all of a sudden the scene shifts and it's abandoned. You know what I mean? Like the colors mute, the wallpaper tears, there's dust, there's cobwebs. And on it, like, I don't know, some kind of non-morbid way of them realizing that they are the ghosts and that they don't really exist, but they do exist because we've made them exist because we love them. We have brought them into existence even though they're not really real. I don't know. It sounds very morbid, but I don't mean it in a morbid way though. Like it wouldn't be sad. I wouldn't want them to like react to it sadly though. I
I
don't know.
don't take that in a morbid way because I could see them like it starts off with them in the studio, and then as they're looking at things, they're having these flashbacks of things.
Mhm.
So they're not necessarily solving a mystery within the studio, but
Right.
they're having flashbacks of solving mysteries based on the things that they're seeing in the studio.
Yeah.
I think
That's the last
that would have been really an interesting way to do more like the reunion type special.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It would be like a existential like Duck Amuck, the Looney Tunes cartoon where Bugs Bunny's drawing Daffy Duck. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It'd be like that,
Yeah.
but like existential. I had so many things to say about what you just said. Love the idea of the animation studio. I feel like what you were saying about it's almost like memories are kind of like ghosts. Because
Yes.
like you remember people and times and places, and then you go to those places and like the building's torn down or it's different or they redid it or a person's gone, and like you can picture those
Mhm.
moments from the past happening, but they're not there with you currently. So it's like
Right.
there's something with that, I feel like.
Yeah.
I can also attest, we were talking about that bookstore and you sent me that video a couple years ago or whatever.
Yes.
And I can attest that would be a good place for an episode to take place. Very good setting. What was I? Oh, the school gymnasium you mentioned. Scooby-Doo and a Mummy too, there's a moment in there where they're in the gym for like a
That's
second.
true.
And
Mhm.
it's got good vibes, so I
Mhm.
agree that that would also be good. And I remembered earlier I had another weird episode. The one from Guess Who where the voice cast is the villains is kind of similar to the animation studio thing, but not existential, and it's a little bit silly.
Yep.
So,
It'd be interesting to hear what other people think would be good locations, and really to know if other people know of locations that they haven't done anything in, because I feel like 50 years of Scooby, it's a lot of places for them to solve mysteries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's time for us to rank the locations.
Wait, hold on. I had
Okay.
one. I had a question. I think I had a question. Hold on. It's important. I think. Oh, this was my last. I had two questions. Does an island does something being on an island make it scarier or less scarier to you than just being on like a land that you can drive to, like accessible by car? Does the island make it like, ooh, they can't escape? Kind of like the weather, but like different location wise.
I think it
For
does
me,
kind of make it so that like you're there and you can't get off of that island unless you have a boat, or
Yeah.
if there's a bridge, a car. Granted, they do have the mystery machine, but yeah, I think that feeling that you are stuck there makes something a lot scarier. Joel?
for me, yeah, same. That Sunny and Cher episode where the water kind of flooded and they're on that island with the shark people. That was creepy. And then I think of that Stephen King story where the guy's on an island. I don't know if you've ever read it. I don't want to spoil it. It's creepy.
Mhm.
The last sentence is ladyfingers. But yeah. Oof. Our last word is ladyfingers.
Like
It's
the
a good one.
treat?
Pardon me?
Like the snack? Like the little treat? Ladyfingers?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And you're just like, oh, that's awful. You throw the book away. It's like, oh, that's creepy.
All right. Now I'm in.
Yeah. And then Lost was
You-
on an island. That was fun. Not really scary, but fun. Oh, Wendy, I'm just yapping.
We'll talk more about this book later after dark.
Yeah, I'm curious
Um,
also.
I think the idea of an island is scary, but I'll tell you the truth, until we were just having this conversation just now, it only just now dawned on me. And I know I'm stupid, I know. Like, oh my gosh, Hassle in the Castle happens on an island.
Hmm?
See, I feel like in order for the island
Oh.
itself to make it scary, it needs to be more obvious that you're on an island. And just saying, oh no, we crashed on this beach and we're marooned on an island now. That wasn't enough for me to like register, oh my gosh, it's an island, it's isolated, there's no way off, there's no one to come and get them. It really, because we don't see what is like out beyond the island, my brain has never really like processed it properly that that's where they were, even though they literally say it. So I feel like if we had a shot at least once in the episode of them like looking out like at the water around them where you can't see anything beyond the horizon or something like that, that would make it scarier for me. But just the idea of an island is for me like it's not enough. It doesn't make it more so. I would have to see it for myself and be like, holy crap, like yeah, you're trapped there.
What about A Night of Fright is No Delight? Also on an island.
That one definitely more so. Although I get so caught up in the story and then I start thinking about House on Haunted Hill and then I'm gone and I'm Vincent Price is there as far as I'm concerned. But yes, no, definitely when you get to see them like coming up to it, you see that it's an island, much more effective, I think.
I think that I'm the one that asked the question, but I think that an island, the idea of an island and you're trapped on there is scary, but I almost it takes me back to the overseas foreign versus local argument, and I'm more likely to be driving down the road in the woods than be on an island, and I think that that makes it more scary for me. for just on that aspect. So I don't know. That's interesting. And I did have one more question, and this is an interesting one. Does this affect the scariness of the location to you guys? If there's a backstory, an urban legend, oh, don't go there, this happened and there's a ghost, or oh, this is there's the headless whatever specter haunts the mansion, or is that scarier? Or if they just show up to a place and then all of a sudden like the puppet master's there or whatever, like they're there and it's just like a ghost happens to be at the location they're at, versus there's like, ooh, already a spooky story around it. Like, does the story make it scarier, or like just they run into a ghost make it scarier?
I think the story can make it scarier because now they have this preconceived notion that when they get there, that they could see a ghost or whatever, and they know that this thing happened there. And I feel like they're already there and they're kind of nervous because of hearing these stories and knowing that something happened there. So it kind of like they're going into it already a little scared, which is going to make even the slightest little thing seem scarier to them.
Good point.
Yeah, I think it's 50-50 for me, because them knowing something ahead of time definitely works in Haunted House Hang Up for sure, the Headless Spectre. But I feel like it doesn't always work for me. Like with Dr. Coffin, I don't find that necessarily, I mean, it added to the story, but for me, it didn't add to how scary it was, though, the way that it did with the haunted, with the specter. So yeah, I think for me, it's totally dependent on the situation and circumstance as to whether or not it does anything, because sometimes it does and sometimes it just doesn't for me.
Yeah.
Interesting. Joel?
I do love a good story, but I feel I'd rather go in blind, because I think your imagination sometimes, although if they're telling a story, you don't really know what it looks like, but you're kind of set your expectation. But if something kind of randomly shows up, I think it scares me a little more than versus kind of, because all these stories we're all kind of familiar with these stories and we've kind of seen everything. But if something comes out of the blue, then yeah, it freaks me out a little more. Yeah. But no, I'm like Wendy, 50-50.
I think I agree. I think I like urban legend stories. I think that's fun, but I don't necessarily know if it makes it scarier or not.
Yeah.
Because the element of surprise can make something scary also. Like when you're not expecting to be scared.
Right.
Yeah. I think like watching, let's just say you're watching a horror movie, and like a good jump scare doesn't always have like a lead up with the music. You know what I mean? Like you're like, uh-oh, something's coming, and then it's kind of less scary. But like a good jump scare is just like you don't know what's about to happen. So it's kind of, I feel like that kind of works the same with the story behind the monster also.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. All right, let's rank the locations now. So our ranking system is Jinkies, Jeepers, Zoinks, Hold the Phone, and Rutrow. And Jinkies meaning it's the best, Rutrow meaning it's the worst. Where would you rate Museum?
I'm going to go with Jinkies.
Okay.
I would also say Jinkies.
Okay.
Because
Go ahead, Tim.
No, sorry. I was just okay. I don't know if this will help qualify anything, because like you think of a museum and you think of like a stereotypical like Night of Friday, or what a night for a night. You know what I mean? Like you think like classic museum, but then like like there are like mummy exhibits in a museum, or like a wax museum. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty scary with different figures and things like that. So I feel like the different elements of things that could come out and scare you, and the different like there's different varieties to that location, and so I think that makes it pretty scary. So yeah, Jinkies. Sorry, Joel.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, I think I'll go Jinkies, because all those Scooby episodes in the museum are 10 out of 10s.
Yeah, I would say Jinkies too. Okay. So Jinkies it is. Castle. Castle is a definite Jinkies for me.
Agreed. Jinkies as well.
I would also throw it in Jinkies. This is hard because I already pre-rated these in my mind. But like there's so many of them that like the good ones, like the tops, are still in the top. So I would also say Jinkies.
Okay.
Yeah, Jinkies.
You seem unsure about that.
No, I'm 100% sure.
Okay.
And we
Haunted
are ranking
Mansion?
these based on scary factor, right? Not just like we like the setting, right? We're based on scariness.
We're
Yeah.
basing them on our thoughts on the location itself. So, I mean, we can
Okay,
base
so
it on scariness if you want.
I
but-
was just curious. Okay.
Haunted Mansion?
Jinkies.
Definitely Jinkies.
Yeah, I was worried I was going to put everything in Jinkies.
Yeah. I think I mean, considering the Haunted Mansion from the intro is the picture, it's got to be Jinkies.
Yeah.
Carnival?
Jeepers.
Okay.
It's a Jinkies for me. I love a good. See, this is hard because if something I can like something, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the scariest, which is hard. So that's hard. There's two different rankings there.
Yeah.
But as far as like, say I'm just watching the episode of Scooby-Doo. That's how I'm gonna rank all these, and they're at this setting. Do I like it? Carnival, Jinkies.
Okay, so Devin, the whole ranking thing was your idea. Are we ranking it based on liking it or scariness?
Well, what do you guys want to do?
I think I was thinking liking it because whether or not it's scary sort of plays into that already.
Yeah, true.
Okay. So we got a
Okay.
Jeepers and a Jinkies for Carnival. Joel?
I'm a Jinkies.
I would probably put it under Jeepers as well.
Okay, let me ask like the dumbest question ever. Is Foul Play in Funland a carnival or a theme park?
I would say theme park.
Theme park.
Personally.
Okay.
I would call it a theme park.
Okay,
I'm
gonna stick with my Jeepers then for carnival.
Okay, so
I was thinking it was a carnival, so maybe I'll put it Jeepers in.
okay.
What's an example of the carnival? Like Big Top?
I feel like a carnival
like
has
Big
to
Top.
have like
like
clowns and stuff like that, like a circus in a circus is clowns and like all the Big Top stuff mainly. Carnival is more like a small town fair vibe, I feel like, but it could have a circus tent. A theme park is just like roller coasters, you know what I mean? Small town Disneyland type stuff.
Mm.
That's how I would qualify them, I guess.
See, I would be tempted to just go ahead and be like carnival/circus.
Yeah.
Even though they're not the same thing, I get that. And Foul Play in oh my gosh. Foul Play in Funland is kind of both a theme park and a carnival, but I would agree Foul Play in Funland, theme park for the purposes of our ranking. And let's say that carnival is more like circus in this instance.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, theme park.
I mean, for Foul Play, I have to put it in Jinkies. I can't not.
Jinkies. Jinkies, it's my favorite.
Yeah, Jinkies.
All right, we'll go with Jinkies. Sporting arena.
Ruh-roh.
Below Rut-Row.
I like the Rambling Ghost episode. That's pretty good.
Okay.
They made good use of it. They had like tunnels underneath.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fine, Jinkies.
So where would you put it, Joel?
I think my lowest on this would be that, and I'd put that maybe Zoinks.
Thanks. I would put it under Hold the Phone.
I'm okay with Hold the Phone raising it
So
up.
am I.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Factory.
Hold the Phone.
See, this is tough because a factory, like episodes can be at two different places. Like that's Snow Ghost, for example. It's like that's at like a lodge slash hotel, but then they're also at like a factory mill, and I do love the fact that kind of factory slash like sawmill vibe.
Yeah.
I personally like that, but not all of the factories in Scooby-Doo are like that. They're more like assembly line type stuff. So I would say Zoinks.
I would do Zoinks as well.
I would say Zoinks for that too.
Okay.
Sorry, Wendy.
Lake Swamp.
Jeepers.
I agree. I think I like a building more than just outdoors.
Agreed.
But I still like it. I feel like a swamp is great as a great setting, so I would say Jeepers for sure.
Yeah, I'd put Swamp in Jinkies and Lake in Jeepers. So I guess
Yeah.
Jeepers.
Jeepers. Yeah, I'd go with Jeepers. Boat. I would
Yeah,
probably put that under Zoinks. Maybe
lots of
Under the
fun.
Phone.
Lots of good episodes have happened on boats, and yet, I mean, but there's Soggy Bog Scooby. Zoinks.
Zoinks.
I think Zoinks as well. As much as like in which is which, I do love the what are those boats called? Where there's like the casinos on it and stuff. That's pretty great. Like I wouldn't mind a whole episode on a boat like that. Like it would be pretty cool, like in the casino stuff. But overall, I think Zoinks.
Yeah, Zoinks.
Beach.
I mean, not much happens at the beach. I would do Hold the Phone.
I really want to. Not that I don't like it, but I want to say Rutrow because I feel like the beach is during the day, and the day just doesn't. It doesn't. It's not the best setting, so I feel like sand and water are both so flat and plain. There's no like good built. Like I said, buildings. Like there's no like the atmosphere just isn't fully there, especially if it's during the day. I'm gonna say Rutrow.
I'm gonna do Zoinks because like that second episode, Captain Cutler just they're on the beach party and he comes out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
it
would
really
say
depends on what surrounds it. I feel like what surrounds the beach really depends.
I would say Zoinks.
I'm okay with raising it up to Zoinks if that's what you guys want.
Wendy, where did you put it?
At Hold the Phone.
So if you said hold the phone, you said Rutrow, it's you Zoinks. Maybe we put it at hold the phone.
Sure.
I'd be okay with either. If you
Yeah,
guys
I mean,
want
if you guys like,
Zoinks.
yeah, if you guys like Zoinks, I'm okay with it. Like I said, it really depends on like what surrounds it in the episode.
We'll do Zoinks then. Ghost Town.
Jeepers.
I'm gonna go Jinkies on this one. I love a good old ghost town minor 49er. It's good stuff. I love a good ghost town.
You got me on minor 49er, but when I think of the Scooby episodes in Ghost Towns, I don't love them other than minor 49er. I love that episode, but I hate that Ghost Town episode. It's one of my least favorite. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I might just go. Oh, why'd you have to mention minor 49er?
Sorry.
I was gonna do Zoinks, but I'll do Jeepers.
Okay.
I would do Jeepers.
All right, I'll take it.
School.
Man, you got that picture of Ghoul School, and it's making me not like it. Sorry, Wendy, you go first.
Okay, see, we need to be objective. There is more than just Ghoul School here. I think Zoinks.
you saying that you want to see an episode at the school and the gym, and me thinking about the mummy vibe in the gym makes it sound good, but that episode doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's true.
So I will also say Zoinks. I will also say Zoinks.
I'm a Zoinks.
I would say Zoinks. Abandoned location.
Oh, Jinkies all the way.
Yeah, there's so much potential with that. There's so
Mhm.
much, yeah.
Yeah, Jinkies.
I would say Jinkies too.
That's almost, it's hard because it's the miscellaneous category, but it's almost like the best because it could be anything. You know,
Yeah.
it could be literally anything that's abandoned.
Hotel.
Oh, well, something's got to go in rut row.
Gramps the Vamp?
Oh, that's true. Oh, Devin, why'd you say that?
Just saying. Just throwing it out. It's a good setting. Jinkies for me.
Well, see, if we had seen more of the cat creature in like Aunt Olivia's building, I would be more apt to do it, but I can't go more than hold the phone.
Okay, because hold on. A hotel also, I put it in the same category as a lodge, which is like Snow Ghost, where you like they travel to like a place like that. It's like a cabin-y
Okay.
in woods. That's
Are
Then
we
I'd have
having
to
them?
say like Jeepers.
Yeah, are we putting it with like a lodge type places where they would stay?
I
Yeah.
had them in the same category. Did you do it that way on here then, Nikki?
I mean, technically, I didn't put Lodge, but yeah, he does have
Okay.
that on the list. So I only put one word on.
Okay. If it's both, then yes, Cheapers.
It's a Jinkies. I love it. I love a good hotel. Those are like my favorite horror movies too. Like some because like you don't there it's all strangers coming together. You don't know who could be
True.
there, all the different rooms. It's big. I
Yeah,
love a good hotel.
you got me on hotel. Jinkies for me.
I would say Jeepers. So it's kind of in the middle.
I mean,
All right.
okay, like Devin, would you really rank it like the same as like the Haunted Mansion or the Castle though?
Okay, well, on my list of 17 of them, I put hotel at, where is it on this thing? Would you believe I put it at number 2?
Mm.
What?
Wow.
I love a good
What's
hotel.
wrong with you?
Because the lodge comes into play too. Like you travel to a place like a creepy cabin in the woods, or like you know what I mean. It's like a ski resort, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like I love that.
I'm kind of putting it in the middle. of
Okay.
Jinkies
That's
and
fine.
Jeepers.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
let's
My
sort it
wife
later.
works at a hotel. Okay, okay.
And you only put it at number 2?
Oh, I know. Oh my God, she's
Wow.
gonna hate me.
Cemetery?
Jinkies.
Yeah, for sure. Good cemetery.
Yeah, Jinkies.
Are there any episodes that are fully at a cemetery, or is that just like an adjacent?
Mm,
Jason, for me.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're ever there the whole time.
I put
That's automatically creepy. You know what I mean? It automatically adds a good spooky factor to
Yeah.
to the episode.
I put laboratory, but it should say science/research facility.
I mean, it's a good visual, but hold the phone, I think.
I'm right there with you. I think it's okay.
I think it makes for great background art,
Yes.
but
It really depends on the type of facility. Because like I was picturing, did I write anything down with this one? I did not. I was picturing like the caveman episode. That's like Ocean Land is like a research facility, you know. And then there's like What's New, where there's like an alien thing going on and stuff like that. So like it really depends. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of just it's on the lower end for me.
sure.
I'm gonna do Zoinks.
Zoinks. I would probably go Zoinks too. So I guess this one's going in between
That's fine.
Zoinks and hold the
Fine for me.
phone.
Okay.
Fine for me.
City? I would go hold the phone because I feel like it's too people-y.
I agree. And they all kind of look like similar. It's just like skyscrapers.
Yeah, I'd go hold the phone, sure.
Do you like that New York episode? I can't go any lower than Zoinks, but I'm usually the cranky one. I don't know what's going on here.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like all of them, but you got to put some stuff, you know.
Woods.
I mean, that's a Jinkies for me.
Yeah, Jinkies.
I mean, that's just classic, like, road trip. You're in a heavily wooded area and your car breaks down, you know. I'll go Jinkies as well. It's classic.
Yeah, Jinkies. And jail.
I mean, the idea of it is there, but honestly, I'm fine with it going into Rut-Row.
I feel like it hasn't been executed well enough.
Yeah.
I do love the idea of like old Iron Face and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it just hasn't been done good enough. I would also put it, if not Rut-Row, hold the phone down there.
Yeah, agreed.
It's Zoinks for me. I love Iron Face. I love the Lady Vampire one.
Oh.
Start off in a jail. The only jail one I didn't like was the second Don Knotts one.
I would do hold the phone.
I hold the phone, I guess, then, right? Right in the,
Yeah,
the
I
middle
think
of
so,
it.
yeah.
All right. Are we going to rank them in order of the order that they're in?
Do you
We
guys
should.
want to do that, or is that too much to do?
I mean, we've been doing that for
We've been
everything
doing
else.
it, yeah.
All right, let's do it. Should we start at the bottom and go to the best?
Yep, that's what I was
Probably.
going to say. We should start
Yeah.
at hold the phone. So what's
Okay.
the best of sporting arena, city, or jail?
Ah,
City. I think City.
I think City. I like the idea of the jail the best, but it's just not there. So I'm going to also say City is the best.
Joel?
I'd go with that, yeah.
City.
Yep.
And then jail or sporting arena?
We know where I'm at. Sporting Arena's at the bottom.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah.
I can. No, I'd go Sporting Arena second.
I would go jail second and sporting arena third.
Though I do like, it's not scary, but the What's New episode, WrestleManiacs, I like the idea of a wrestling ring is fun.
Yeah.
I wish there was like a spookier episode or something like that would be cool.
So laboratory is going to stay in the middle of the two. So
Okay.
for Zoinks, it's factory, boat, beach, or school.
This is for the worst or the best of that category?
Which one is the best to worst?
The best? I feel like there's potential with factory because there's different things you can do with it.
I would go with factory.
Because a boat's a boat, a beach is a beach, a school is a school, but a factory could have a lot of different categories within it, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally would put boat first, but I'm okay putting factory first, though.
Okay. Because boat, like, there's like a pirate ship, there's like marinas and stuff, you know, and
Ma and Pa Skillet's showboat where they make fritters.
yeah. I'd say factory boat as the first two.
Yeah.
I'm friends with that.
Yeah, that'll work. So beach or school? Third.
School.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if I can. I'm like Daddy and Bruglia. I'm just torn.
I would go school third.
I think I'd do beach.
Yeah. No.
Because there's like those old little abandoned boats on the beach, and like that Beast is Awake on Bottom's Lake. That's like kind of beachy. And they meet the old hermit.
But that's lakey. That's the lake.
Hmm.
The Beast is Awake.
In the bottomless beach.
Oh no, I'm thinking the captain with the eyes. Creepy beast, creepy heat from the deep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good beach episode.
That
Well,
is a pretty good beach episode, but I
Yeah.
still
Cool.
think school.
Cool is still gonna
Yeah.
be third. Sorry,
I still
Joel.
stand by it. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Joel.
I think you guys are just getting tired, not clearly thinking.
Ooh.
For Jeepers, which one is best, Carnival, Lake or Swamp, or Ghost Town?
My gosh.
I would put Ghost Town first.
I'm doing Swamp first.
I would do Swamp first as well.
Shoot, I was gonna say Carnival.
All right, well,
I'm
Swamp.
I'm okay with Swamp going first because you said that.
Swamp
Which,
got
I mean, that is a good setting. I won't say it's not. We're getting up to the good stuff, you know?
Okay,
Yeah.
Ghost Town or Carnival second.
Carnival.
I would say Ghost Town.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Ghost Town.
Gosh darn it, you guys. All right, Joel and Nikki, rock, paper, scissors right now.
Yeah, because it is a tie right now. So
Okay, come on, let's do it then. We'll see.
ready? Rock,
yeah.
paper, scissors, shoot. Ah, that didn't work.
Joel's not even doing it. Joel doesn't even care.
Okay. Who's Ghost Town and who's Carnival?
Joel
I'm
and
a Carnival.
Ghost Town. You and Wendy are Carnival.
Okay, so Joel, you're playing for Team Ghost Town. Wendy, you're playing for Team Carnival.
Come on, Joel. Okay, got it.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors. Damn it. All right, Ghost Town. Sorry, Devin.
I thought you'd try and persuade me on Carnival, but no one. I can be swayed.
Oh, I love a Carnival.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
put
we're
the rules
past that now. Hotel is staying where it is. So Jinkies, what is number one?
God.
Museum, castle, haunted
good
mansion,
Lord.
theme park, abandoned area, cemetery, or woods?
Okay, hold on. I feel like we should do Jinkies backwards, though. I think we should go worst to best, so that we end on the best one.
I don't think my brain can do that, to be honest.
Okay. What's the best then? What's number one?
I would put maybe abandoned area as number one.
I thought it was going to be haunted mansion, but thinking about it though, like abandoned, I think might be number one.
Yeah, because it's everything. It's
Yeah.
hard to not be.
Joel?
Peer pressure. Yeah,
Joel,
I think
I'm
I'm
willing to be persuade. I'm willing to change my mind.
no, I think I'm exactly on par with Wendy with that one.
I would put haunted house or haunted mansion next.
Yeah,
for me.
agreed. Yeah, haunted mansion next.
Yeah, you sold me on that too.
Yeah.
Because like
I
you're
would
going
agree.
to someone else's house. You're just going into somebody's house. You shouldn't even be in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would put castle next.
Oh man. Okay. What do we got?
My heart wants to put cemetery, but I also think castle.
Yeah, I think castle because cemetery is more like a side dish.
Agreed.
You peer pressure. I want to say museum.
Oh, okay.
I love a good museum. I feel like
Yeah.
there's so many things around that could come to life, or like you don't know what it could be, you know. But I understand castle's great, obviously.
So what are we putting fourth? I'd probably go museum.
I would go museum as well.
Okay.
This surprised me because I thought woods would be higher, but yeah, I'll do museum.
I think that woods and cemetery for me are at the bottom of the top because, like you said with cemetery before, they're kind of the side dish to the like you don't go to just the woods or just the cemetery like we talked about. It's like you go to all these other places and that place like kind of comes with it. You know, the cemetery and the woods like are like an add-on almost, I feel like.
That's true.
Am I off base? I feel like that's right.
Yeah.
No, you're right because then they go to abandoned like mill in the woods and yeah.
Yeah.
Cemetery, woods, or theme park?
I'm gonna say theme park because I love that kind of stuff. Foul Plan Funland's my favorite episode, and like my point of those are just that's the main course, and the other ones are the sides. So
Yeah, theme
Okay,
park for me because
cemetery.
I would say cemetery too.
Oh gosh, darn it.
I'm picking theme park because Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park is my favorite Scooby-Doo episode. So
That's such a good.
Okay, Devin, Nikki, rock, paper, scissors. Devin, do
Hold on, are we doing rock, paper, scissors, shoot? Or rock, paper, scissors?
I don't know.
we did it
Whatever you
on
guys-
like the third word when Wendy and I did it.
Okay, rock,
Yeah.
paper, scissors, and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
what
so
we have. Maybe it's a
Okay.
Canadian thing.
I can't see
Ready?
Nikki right now because it's not showing up on my screen because it's only showing 3 people at a time and I'm talking a bunch, so I'm on there. So Nikki, you talk. You're there. And you're there.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, you see? I thought it was on scissors. All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay. Rock,
That's
paper,
how I
scissors.
do it. My brain can't comprehend doing it on
do.
scissors.
Go ahead.
I do too. I do too. Wendy threw me.
All right, God, you say it.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I wasn't holding at the camera, but I was doing paper. Okay. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I had rock.
Oh,
You win that one.
All right.
All
Theme
right.
Which one did you win? The cemetery.
park. I don't even remember it. Yeah.
Theme park.
You were. Cemetery or woods? I would go
Cemetery.
cemetery and then woods.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joel's falling into peer pressure again.
Okay.
No, I was thinking like the werewolf one, but then I realized that's like a cemetery in the woods
Mm.
Yeah.
because they
Yeah,
find his
yeah.
grave.
See, that's kind of the fun part about all of these is you can kind of just mix and match stuff. You know what I mean? Like it all kind of goes together. You could go to an abandoned jail, or you could go to a beach at the factory, you know, and it's a good time.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Terrible examples, but you could do that. They're the first ones I looked at.
I think this is a good ranking, and I'm interested to see if people agree with us because
Mm-hmm.
I think we came up with a pretty good list.
Also,
Are you
can we
able to, like-
appreciate that nothing is in Rutrow?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, thank goodness. I mean, besides the sporting arena, but are you able to like make this a thing that people could do at all, Nikki, where they could rank it and you could see how they would do it?
Technically, I could send this to anyone who has publisher because that's all I'm using is publisher.
I would like to see that. I would like to see other people's rankings if they're so inclined.
Yeah.
Yeah, or guys, screenshot this and like clip them and move them around, make them,
Yeah.
and then tag us all so we can see what you chose and
Yeah.
peer pressure you into changing your mind to match what we
Yeah,
said.
because I will argue with if sporting arena is not at the bottom, I will argue with you about it.
What about the Demon of the Dugout? That's good. That's fun.
I'm not saying they're bad. They're just all my least favorites.
I can't put anything under Zoinks.
No, they're all good. I love them all. I love them all.
Except sporting arena.
Except sporting arenas.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even notice it was missing if like you just left it off. Devin, like when you're reading the list, you're like, oh, screw sporting arena. I wouldn't even.
I could have. I should. You know what? I should have. Frankly, I should have.
That makes for a better episode. Poking fun at it. I'm just usually the one who like is like the one who would be like everything in row, but I'm opposite Devin. I don't know if it's like the you're switching. Like,
No, listen.
I might watch
love
Reluctant Werewolf this
everything.
year and like it.
I love everything. Okay, I love everything. But for you, Joel, I can start hating everything, and I can be the bad guy. I'll do a heel turn right now, and I will be the villain of this panel. Okay. You see this award?
See, Devin, all Devin would have to do is like shave the sides of his beard and bam, he's the villain.
What if I had like big mutton chops? Would that
Yeah.
be kind of sick? Okay.
As long as you've got the little devil goatee, you can be the villain.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our final thoughts on the locations. Wendy?
Yeah. Going back to something that Devin said earlier, they really kind of are the most important aspect of any Scooby-Doo episode, or really any movie or anything else like that, because you can have the best script with stellar acting, great sound effects and music, but if it's just people walking on like a white or black background, it's just not there. Everything else can be perfect and it's not going to be enough to sell it. But I feel like the right location, the right background, you can sell almost anything. So definitely Scooby people knew how to like spark your imagination, capture the atmosphere that they needed to like get that mystery going. I think honestly for me, the only series that could rival Scooby on location and background would be Johnny Quest. The only one that I think could rival Scooby on that, but certainly cannot boast the wide array of different locations that Scooby can. So Scooby's the winner as far as that goes. I don't really think anybody can argue that. And if you try, you're wrong and sorry, but that just is what it is. But no, the locations of Scooby are also the most fun thing, I think, when not that any of us are still discovering new episodes of Scooby that we haven't seen before, but at one time we were doing that. And I think that was probably the most exciting thing, was like, where are they going? Where are they going to be today? Even before what are they going to do? So yeah, kudos to the Scooby people. Great job with the locations. And again, the fact that for the most part, nothing ended up in our bottom tier. I think that says a lot about because like the worst episode of Scooby is still better than the majority of television today. I'll die on that hill. I still believe that. Even some crappy sporting events mystery, still better than Game of Thrones.
We're not going to include Velma in that thought, though.
No, we won't. No.
Didn't even cross my mind on any of this.
No.
Joel, your final thoughts?
Yes, panel was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I liked hearing everyone's thoughts. Everyone pressuring me to rank things lower than putting it all on Jinkies. Great times. I liked it. Wendy's dressed appropriately because location. It's the number one thing for buying a house and for marketing. If your business is off the highway, you're eventually gonna, have to shut it down and the roof's gonna collapse and no one's gonna buy your books. So
yeah,
a good location.
Devin, your final thoughts?
I'll just keep mine short and sweet. I feel like I would go out on a limb and say that, and I don't think I'm biased in this, but I feel like Scooby-Doo, especially Scooby-Doo Where Are You, obviously, has maybe some of the best atmosphere and location of like any show that's come out, at least cartoon wise. I don't think that's like crazy to say. Like, I think that Where Are You has like some of the best atmosphere of cartoon TV period, like ever. Like, it's so good. It's perfectly spooky for a kid where it's not scary, but it really puts you in the feeling of like, ooh, this place like is maybe dangerous, or it's, there's peril. And it's great. And I also had fun. So thanks for having fun with me.
I agree with you guys that location is very important. And my brain was trying to picture a Scooby episode with no background. And I don't think it's possible for it to like actually picture it in my head because it would just be so weird.
Mm-hmm.
So the locations, the background art, it's Scooby. It's what makes Scooby Scooby, So yeah, we're going to wrap things up. Before we do, let everyone know where they can find you on social media. Wendy?
On Instagram, I'm at Wendy Bridge. On Twitter X, I'm Wendy Loves Jesus. And my blog is wendylovesjesus.wordpress.com.
Joel?
YouTube, type in Plant Scooby.
Devin?
You can find me as far away as possible from the nearest sporting arena.
And you can find all my links on ScoobyAddicts.com. Let us know your thoughts on locations. Where would you want to see Scooby and the gang solve a mystery? And thank you for joining us for another Scooby panel. Thank you for tuning in to another Scooby panel. I'm Nikki Blake from ScoobyAddicts.com. If you like these panels, please subscribe to my channel for more great discussions. A huge shout out to our patrons, Julie Rosen, Ross from ScoobyFan.net, Tagus, Garrett Spencer, Paul the Scooby Dude, and Jesse. If you would like to support the Scooby panel, please go to patreon.com/ScoobyAddicts. A very special thank you to artist, blogger, and Scooby collector Wendy Bridge, Joel from Planet Scooby, and miniature artist Devin Smith. Scooby Panel is available in podcast form on most podcast platforms or as a web series on YouTube. You can find Scooby Panel on Instagram, Facebook, and X as @ScoobyPanel. We are part of the Collector's Maze Network, where you can find all things geek. Scooby and Shaggy were voiced by Scott Innes. Check out Scott's website, onescottshop.com. Scooby Addicts artwork by Will Davenport. Scooby Panel logo by Garrett Spencer. Video editing by Nikki Blake. Please join us next time for another Scooby Panel.